working through just exactly how do we get through all of our podcast reels for our latest release episode with the executive director from the Housing Authority of Kansas City, HAKC, which is Kansas City Housing Authority. And I wanted to kind of start the podcast with or promoting how to get a $2.6 billion housing development. All right, so this is going to be an interesting development, right? Because I want to highlight how do we actually get a $2.6 billion housing development plan approved? That's what I wanted to lead with because I think this is a very intriguing question, especially if you work at a housing authority or you work at a city. How do you figure out how do you get a development plan approved? Because such a massive amount, such a massive dollar value takes tremendous amount of collaboration, input, insights, and just bringing together all the different parties to make this work. This is why I want to kind of share with you, right? Then today, what I want to do, I forgot to kind of go live while I was doing it was this is how we go about what is the most skill you need to succeed in affordable housing. How do you get $26 million approved? How do you finance a large affordable housing development plan? Come, come. Plan. Let me make sure I kind of tell my team that Nona two, I want to make sure it's a plan, not just a. Right. Housing system enables creative and innovative. But you don't want that one. That there wasn't enough on this reel that my team put together. There just wasn't enough of a point being made. So I was like, all right, let's just kind of cut that out and just put that as a chapter. Housing cities or housing authorities, source properties or development. I figured that might be a really good question that someone might ask ChatGPT. So that's how I kind of phrase this question, right? From now on, all my phrasing, all my text, all my questions. This is all primarily based on how do I think someone will search for a question and how would they look for that question on large language models such as Google Gemini or ChatGPT. This is what's so important about it. Why do people work in the affordable housing industry? Right? This is so good. I think these are all going to be really, really good questions. And it's just going to be a matter of time before you figure out, hey, what is going to be going on here and how will folks actually respond to this and how will they learn all this information? And that's why I want to kind of aggregate all this information in such a way that's searchable, especially for large language models, right? They call it GEO, which is Generative Engine Optimization, or LMO, which is Language Model Optimization. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I want our podcast to be the number one podcast for affordable housing investments, and that allows us to bring more and more guests onto the platform so that we can share more answers with all of you. All right. Hopefully, this is helpful for everybody. Again, I'll see you all tomorrow for day 822.